in 1940. In 1896, she married John Whiteman, and apparently they started doing evangelism on their honeymoon. I don't know if that's true, but it sounded good. Now I want you to catch this next one. In 1897, she was granted a ministerial license, and her husband was not. They were both up for it. I want you to watch the trajectory on this family. And that year, her conference president wrote that she has accomplished more the last 2 years than any minister in this state. In her lifetime, she would raise up at least 17 congregations. Lulu Whiteman is a powerhouse. One of the best historians we have in the denomination wrote, the results of Mrs. Whiteman's ministry rank her not only as the most outstanding evangelist in New York during her time, but among the most successful within the Adventist Church for any time. One of the most interesting aspects of Lulu's ministerial journey was that the minister that she was to work with didn't want her help. He rejected her. He did everything to discourage Lulu from becoming an Adventist minister. But at the same time, Pastor S.B. Cobb wrote, "Look at Sister Lulu's work. In spite of her outstanding success, the conference has held her off at arm's length and refused to recognize her as a suitable person to preach present truth, when in fact she is out of sight of the very ones that are criticizing her." By 1901, they pulled a few strings and she was getting the pay of an ordained pastor. And that year, 1901, her conference president wanted to ordain her. Her union conference president was ready to ordain her. And by accident, the general conference president, A.G. Daniels, happened to be there and said, we don't think we're ready for this quite yet. Meantime, her husband, John, was given a ministerial license 6 years after Lulu. And 2 years later, he's ordained. But all the literature has him assisting her. But John Whiteman had no problem with his wife's success. He published in 1909, yesterday a resolution was adopted by the Missouri House of Representatives inviting Mrs. Whiteman to address the representatives on the rise of religious liberty in the United States. I believe this action upon the part of the Missouri legislature is unprecedented in the history of our people. Lulu Whiteman's final contribution to the Adventist Church would be in the realm of religious liberty. She has passed into the annals of Adventist history as a passionate pastor who loved to share her faith with others. In 2022, we stand on her shoulders. I'll show up tomorrow because on this platform I'm going to resurrect Charles Kenny and bring a friend. And if I was still in evangelism, I'd say, and I'll give you a book.
Before we ask you to